episode. Me, the believer. We have Robin. I'm going to be nice. Okay.
I'm not.
Nick, our referee. And once again, we have my daughter Dakota in for today. And you have our topics for today. You have our folders that we all get.
I have our folders.
So I get to chime out and let you ramble.
The topic today is urban legends. It is PA urban legends, so all of them are from Pennsylvania. And I don't exactly know how many I have written down, but as you guys can see, it's quite a thick folder. So I'm just going to start. So, if you don't know, an urban legend is a horrific or humorous story or piece of information that is passed along as though it is true. Some common urban legends consist of Bigfoot, Area 51, Bloody Mary, and many more. Many different areas have their own types of urban legends. Today's case file will be covering some of Pennsylvania's urban legends. We have used many different websites and YouTube videos to find information, but our main source is this book, Weird Pennsylvania by Matt Lake. Most of the stories were in here as well as on other websites, so it's a bunch of combined information. So most of it is from this book, though, if you want to look at it at the end of the episode. Okay. The first case file. The Blue Mist Road. This is in Pittsburgh. Introduction. There's something about headlights shining on an unlit road at night that stimulates the imagination. Roads, especially dirt roads with no streetlights, reveal shadows that could contain any kind of mystery. A wild animal, a ghost, a malevolent cult, or anything strange and threatening. Of course, if you happen to be driving along such a road with a group of friends, the tales get all the wilder. And that is exactly what has happened with the Blue Mist Road in Pittsburgh North Park. To some, the mystery of more than the mist.
Dark road.
There are.
I'll take you down a dark road.
And we begin.
Okay. There are multiple different stories for this. So the first one. One classical local legend is that the KKK used to hold rallies there at night and would lynch people on a gnarled tree by the side of the road.
There's a party down there, too.
Oh, me having a lynching.
Barbecue.
It is a public hanging.
Anyways, it's a scary tale, but it lacks the ring of truth given the strong centuries long of abolitionist tradition in the Commonwealth, it seems. It seems unlikely that a group like the Klan would have established a stronghold here. Besides, the tree that is most often associated with the tale seems to be singularly unsuited to the task, with no strong, low-hanging limbs over which to throw a rope. Then, another story. A family is said to have used to live there that consisted of a mom, dad, and their children. Until one day, the father returned from work enraged and slaughtered his family, later hiding their bodies in a septic tank. Their spirits are said to be the ones who haunt the streets.
It's one of those old schools. Dinner wasn't ready, so he was pissed. That's what happened.
Woman?
But we've been working all day, Father.
I wanted dinner now.
Next story.
Calm down. I won't wig out on you if dinner's not ready.
To my wife.
When am I making you dinner? Lane's the culinary one, not me.
Oh yeah, you just do desserts.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna learn to build a house, so.
Oh, so I'll be pissed if the house isn't finished yet.
Oh
You're
my
still
God.
remodeling. Okay.
Anyways, there are several houses on the road. One of them now a ruin with only the foundation. Don't worry, I'll build it. In fact, in the storytelling, legends have sprouted up about the houses. One they say was occupied by.
Don't be nervous. I won't attack yet.
One they say was occupied by a witch, and another called the Midget Farm, occupied by a little person.
I love it. We're not doing politically correct. It was a midget farm.
It's what it said in the.
It wasn't a little person paradise.
I forget what my resource was, but it's what it said. Trust me.
Growing little people? Like, I don't...
Cabbage Patch Kids.
The little people are said to chase off visitors that come near the home.
It's even better. Like a bunch of gnomes are chasing me around.
Oh my, that would be so cool. Little pointed hats coming after you.
The gnominomes.
Yes. Oh my god, that would be so cool.
It's like-
Or some of them have pointed hats, or they have the mushroom hats like your fairies do.
Oh
So you just have a flood of that coming
What
across
was
the
it, like
yard.
Goosebumps or whatever they with like gnomes?
Oh yes. Oh.
I think I've only seen one of the Goosebumps.
Oh, you gotta watch the original ones, not like the newer ones. They did the original ones. They were. Oh.
Do you have a timer set?
Yes, I was kind of keep track to see how long.
Okay.
That's all.
We got distracted by midgets.
Anyways,
got some good stuff.
the next story in this is my favorite one for this story. There's also a cemetery near the road with 2 tombstones that lean towards each other. People say that the people in the graves were lovers and that the stones are trying to kiss to continue the love between them. The stones are said to meet once a month on the night of the full moon. Apparitions can be seen of these lovers dancing under the full moon. In other versions of the story, the stones do not meet because if they did, it would bring about the end of the world.
I like the gnomes better.
Well, I like this one.
Like
You should know by what I read.
You had me at midget farm.
We're past the midget farm.
So much better.
Don't worry, there's another story that I have that involves midgets, okay? No, it's little white pale people, so you'll
Maybe
enjoy
those
it.
people in the graves were midgets.
No, they're not. No. Anyways, there's one
These
more.
midgets attack, apparently.
Oh, this-
They're like
We've got some
attack
violent pitchforkers here.
This is the next one's a story where you have a mathematical correction. Just let me get to it.
Okay.
It is said that if you honk your horn 3 times,
I remember.
it will say it when I'm done with the paragraph.
Okay.
It will awaken the spirits. Those who have chosen to do so have experienced orbs being chased by a half dog, half deer, half human hybrid, seen bodies hanging from trees, and one group claims to have heard the beating of an Indian drum while taking pictures of an empty street that later revealed an angry face staring at the camera.
Okay. Yes, this is the one that when you told me about it, this is your fault.
My fault?
Yes.
Why?
Because I had to have the correctional voice in my head when I was listening to it. I'm like, okay, you can't just listen to the story. No, because she said, oh yeah, there's a story of a half dog, half deer, half human. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Well, how does it? I'm like, half and half is 50. That's 100. Well, nothing's 150. So where's the other? I'm like, so it's a third, a third, a third.
Hang on, let me. Okay, so
Oh no, it's not an oval.
No,
We should have a circle.
No,
Let's do
it's
even
good.
math here. I don't
Fine,
care the
fine,
common
fine.
core or whatever.
no, we're doing it like this. So
It doesn't work for your figure.
no, so half dog, okay,
Yeah.
and then human, but half of that human is deer.
Then then we're talking about a 50-25
It's just
type.
bad explanation.
Oh.
I was on Google, okay? Anyways,
Google was wrong
all
with
these
the
stories are encased by a blue mist that covers the road at night. I still wanted to say that. It's my dramatic ending. I have a dramatic ending for all of these, okay? I think I highlighted all of them. No, I didn't. I lied. Oh, these are the ones with the
files
pale
are
people.
lies, then. They're not
Hang
real.
on. Don't read ahead. There's more midgets.
Okay.
What?
In this one, there's tiny pale people.
Thank
Oh.
God.
Okay, this next...
Do they fall over?
No, they're close to the ground. Why would they fall over? No, we're not. No.
I don't wanna
Good
know.
Lord.
This next one is Constitution Drive in Allentown. Constitution Drive is a gravel road in Allentown that has a steep drop-off on one side and train tracks on the other. It is said that a man was struck by a train one night while walking his dogs, severing his legs, leaving him to perish over the course of a few days on the deserted stretch of road. Since, passers-by have reported seeing paw prints and a single footprint in the snow left by the ghost of the man and his dogs. Others say that they have seen glowing eyes of the dogs along the road, while others claim to see the man's tortured spirit as the blood from his injuries trail behind him. Legend also states that the surrounding woods can emit a soft whistling sound that is said to be the man's whistling spirit. Here's the tiny pale people. The wood area is also supposed to be populated by tiny pale-skinned people with red eyes.
Ooh, they're even decorative.
It is said that the house where this group of albinos live is where they practice satanic rituals. The albinos are said to terrorize you by throwing stones at your car, and if you break down near the property, you will meet a dreadful fate. It is also said that you are not to walk too far from your car, as there is a story of an albino man who will steal your car and drive it into the window.
That's just South Philly. What are you talking about? That's nothing.
Some people do say, though, that it's not tiny, pale-skinned people, that it's just a bunch of
That's absolutely terrifying. Thinking there's these little midgets with red eyes running around. They say...
I mean, I was all excited for that, but then, when you said about the albino man stealing the car, I'm like, that's just another Saturday. I'm like, okay. But having the little red, I don't know.
That's me throughout the week.
Oh, Dad, this next story has the lady with the baked bread.
Oh, okay. I don't know. When I've seen, stories before, too, where they see the glowing red eyes, I don't know if it's because there's just something, to me, that bothers me on that. Bigfoot, whatever, they see the tall eyes, that don't bother me. But when it's the low-lying eyes that are round down, I'm like,
No, you can't ruin it.
Okay.
That is... Even with scary movies, not really scary until, in my opinion, you have little children involved.
Dude,
anything little is terrifying.
I forget which...
So are you scared of gnomes, then? Gnomes are tiny.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm scared of them. I mean, if they got beady red eyes and they're chasing me, yes, I'm going to be terrified.
I got gnomes throughout my house now. So
I would rather have a bear.
You got creepy stuff at your house. No.
I would rather have a bear chasing me than a little red beady-eyed gnome.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I feel like it's funny as it sounds, I feel like I could defend myself better against a bear.
That's my exact thing. Like, when I see the tall ones, I'm like, okay, let's go at it. But the little ones,
if it's tiny, it has more speed to it.
Right. No, not
It'll
It
just
latches
snip at your
onto your
ankles.
back and
That's it. Because then you're constantly like, I feel
because then I'm the bear and I can't get him off my back.
Stop.
Is that how you defeat a bear, then? Just jump on its back?
Right? At this point,
They
it's like,
just need a big hug. They need affection.
he's going to come out of the woods, he's going to look at me, I'm going to look at him, he's like, yeah. We're about the same size. Like, let's see what happens.
You're my long lost cousin.
Are we good now?
Yes, we could go to your next story.
Yes, I'm not allowed to ruin it, but okay.
Go ahead. What do you want to add to it? Go ahead.
Those red eyes.
Yes.
You know, on the side of the road, people have those reflectors.
Yes.
Orange is, this is the entrance, and red is you're going too far.
Yeah.
Those red eyes.
They could be. I mean, the majority of the time when people see those, though, there's only one setup. But think about this, though. When you have those reflectors up, even on poles, they're like this, top and bottom.
Yeah.
Your eyes aren't top. You're not got gnomes looking this
No,
way at
I
you.
mean, you never know, I guess. He could have fell over.
It's very easy to check. Just go to Pittsburgh and we check the guardrail.
I will willingly go to Pittsburgh. I love it there.
Yeah, she loves.
I love Pittsburgh. I'm gonna move
On the
there. I
other
swear.
side.
You want to
kinda
go
guy.
to the Philadelphia?
Oh, this next
Only
one's in
been there once,
Philadelphia.
Pittsburgh.
And I think I have a
Well, Allentown's right there.
this
too.
one and the next one is in
See that
Philadelphia.
when she found this story on Allentown, we used to go there for church, and I had friends that lived there. I never remember hearing that story at all.
Well, now you
I'm
know.
like, I would have been like, can I spend the night?
Okay, this next one is Grumblethorpe, located in Germantown Avenue in Philadelphia. Grumblethorpe was thought to have been built in 1744. I'm losing my mind. Just outside of Philadelphia, built by a wine merchant named John Wisner. The home was originally a summer home, but became a permanent residence for the Worcestershire family.
Like the sauce.
They made the sauce, probably. 30 years after completion, in 1779, Grumblethorpe became the headquarters of a British general named James Agnew. During the Battle of Germantown, James was wounded and brought back to Grumblethorpe, where he died in the front parlor. There, his bloodstains remain to this day. According to reports, people have claimed to see a black mist rising from the stain and move throughout the house. Others have claimed that while standing on the spot, they will hear moaning, especially on the anniversary of James' death. Then the next story.
Yeah, I won't give my comment on that.
What's your comment,
Let's hear it.
Dad?
Some people choose to celebrate his death in other ways.
Oh my God, Dad.
I told you really won my
Justina Hemberg is another spirit said to haunt Grumblethorpe. Legends say that she was an orphan in 1793 due to the yellow fever epidemic. So, the Worcestershire family took her in, where she became the house manager. One of Justina's favorite things to do was baking bread. Every Friday night, she would be found baking bread to give to the poor on Saturday mornings. One evening in 1820, Justina appeared to the family's daughters, who believed she was in their home at their time. However, when they awoke the next morning, the family found out that Justina had passed away the night before. Since then, her presence has been reported often, usually on Friday evenings just after sunset, and she is usually accompanied by the smell of freshly baked bread. At least we don't have to worry that her husband will kill her and her children. Like the first guy.
I'm going to wait till you finish. I have something for this.
Okay.
I'll wait.
Visitors are not the only ones to experience the...
Remember me talking? Yeah.
Go ahead,
Continue.
finish. We'll get to it.
Visitors are not the only ones who experience the paranormal around here. Activities here.
You need to stop reading ahead.
Staff have I'm going to take away your folder. Staff have reported seeing black shapes spinning low to the ground, moving from room to room, which seem to match the description that had been reporting near James' bloodstains. Other reports include shadow figures or eyes in the dining room mirror. What the fuck do you have to say?
Just little eyes coming from the
Dad!
Beady little eyes.
Little eyes coming from the
Guys,
Please, sir, I want some more. Okay. I like this ghost, spirit, whatever you want to call it, of Justina, but I'm a little disappointed too.
What?
First of all, if you're going to be a ghost, and you're going to be having freshly baked bread smell, that's going to attract in visitors to the location. So there better be some bread.
No bread for you.
No, it's not that. Well, you can have a little sniff, but you just get little beady eyes at the edge of the table. No, I want bread. I didn't ask
No,
for
it's in
eyes.
the mirror,
Okay,
not at the
what?
table. Oh my God. Go ahead.
We're listening, Robin.
Don't comment on the next one. The next one's my favorite.
yeah, no, not the next one. This one with the bread. Yes.
Yes.
There are people visiting
No,
that.
you
They
don't get the
already
bread.
know the story. Yes.
Most of them, yeah, I would
Most of
assume
them.
so.
They
Yeah.
already know
probably.
the story. So in the back of the head, every morning, making bread. So you already smell the bread.
Well, yeah, it wouldn't be
Exa-
hard for somebody to just have bread.
Exactly.
Well,
So
then there
it's-
better be bread.
yeah, okay, but back in your head, you already know he's baking bread, so you smell
Right. True.
bread being
Braided.
Yeah,
Braided bread.
Hey.
That's actually pretty good too. I do like a good.
I haven't heard of most of these.
There are a
But-
couple that she went through that I had
And
like never.
It's funny because I've been to
Oh, yeah,
Allentown.
what-
I've been to Germantown.
Like a lot of the
Germantown
spots.
is in, that's the,
Germantown's near Allentown.
but that wasn't the place where she was talking about.
There was one in before that she was talking about. The
Yeah,
one right after Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but not the town itself.
Well, no.
Okay.
It was on Germantown
Avenue.
Avenue,
Okay.
but it connects to Germantown.
That I don't know.
Well, we do. We've been
Germantown
there.
is close to Washington.
Yes, there is another one. Yes.
Oh, okay.
There
well,
are
then
multiple.
I,
Well,
then I
because
was
we.
confused with that one.
No,
so.
you're fine. Because actually, going back here to Blacklog, there's Germantown Road too.
You like saying like you go to Chinatown in a big city.
Right,
Every
which
big
one?
city has one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but a Germantown Road or Germantown, that's the big difference. But yeah,
Oh.
go ahead. Sorry.
This one is like short, simple, but I love it. It's my favorite.
That's what she said.
This one.
You said this was going to be the boys at your lunch table. You
No,
should've
this is
known.
worse.
All the neighbor boys out of the bedroom.
This is the
Yeah.
older boys. This would be Enrique and them as they get older.
I hate him. Anyways, this one is the bus to nowhere, also in Philadelphia. Countless buses traverse the city of Philadelphia day and night. All have destinations pickup and drop-off times, and regular passengers, except one. The Bus to Nowhere is Philadelphia's urban legend for the lost and hopeless. It is said that the bus only appears to those truly left truly distraught and alone by the most tragic circumstances imaginable. If your wife took your retirement savings and ran off to California with Brad Pitt, or your cat ate your children while you were asleep, or something of the like, the bus to nowhere would come for you. The bus would not slow down or stop for you. You must chase after it. After the bus driver sees your desperation, they will slow down and allow you and your despair to enter. Passengers on the mythical bus sit 2 days by misery to interact with or even look at any of the other passengers. And it is only once you will temporarily pull out of this daze that you will remember to pull the cord and get off. Once you exit, you will have no memory of your time on the bus, though legend states that some have been riding the bus for years and that some will never leave as they are trapped in the peace as the bus wanders aimlessly. If you happen to be on this bus, you may not even remember it at all. Or will you?
I don't remember hearing that one at all.
See, this one would never happen to me. So I'm not chasing after a bus.
Oh, so you
I knew you were going to say
Well, no,
that
that's
after.
not true. If there's a Philly cheesesteak on there, you going after it?
Maybe. But
I
still.
mean, you put the right incentive on there.
Right?
I really feel
Like,
like
Nick, we threw your T-bone on there. I'm like, ah.
They just tie a string to it and throw it off the side of the bus.
I mean, I'll give it a good 100 yards, and we'll see where we are if we win. But
see how your dash keeps up.
I knew he was going to say that after I heard him chuckle.
yes, you gotta run after this thing now. I'll wait for the next one.
It's coming back around 5, so if I time this at a decent jog, I bet you I can catch it.
Okay, the next one is Road to the Netherworld in Downingtown. To be honest, I don't know if I remember this one. I don't remember half the things I wrote.
I don't know, because there's a couple in the state where you have, like, Devil's Road, Road to Nowhere, and a couple of them that they have the same premise, but, like, different stories to it. Because I think there used to be a legend to the Road to Nowhere, but now the Road to Nowhere actually goes somewhere now. They finished it.
So it's not the road to nowhere.
No. Growing up, I forget, what road was that?
Okay, but it always has a destination.
No, the Road to Nowhere, literally dead end.
Okay, but where the dead ended is the destination, so there's no road to nowhere.
The Bus to Nowhere didn't have a destination.
Go ahead and read your story.
It just
We're not
wanders
gonna get into
aimlessly.
this.
No
I'm trying to just
destination
get something
without
legit,
stopping.
not even paranormal here.
Did you not have any imagination growing up?
No,
Oh,
he
yes,
does
I did.
not.
Oh,
Really? Because I don't believe that.
No,
I think
do.
for his birthday, I
According
need
to
to
my
give him
wife,
a
I never
coloring
was a
book
kid, so
without the numbers. So it's like, it's your choice. Explore your
So do you not
options.
believe in anything
yeah, let's see
fantasy
what
like of
happens.
any sort?
no.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
Dad! Oh my god. So you just don't believe in anything?
We fixed it.
Not that I have come across. No,
Okay.
no.
He believes in his potential to do a good day's work.
Don't get me wrong, I don't even believe in love. What is love? Nobody can tell me what love is. So
You should tell your wife that.
I tell my wife that I love her, but I tell her too what is love. Nobody can tell me what is love, so do I love her?
Who did that song? Because that's the title of the song.
What is
What is
love?
love?
Yeah.
Baby, don't hurt me. I
So
only
you know the words, you just don't believe it.
no more.
Yeah.
I only
Well,
know
she
that.
doesn't hurt me.
I only know that song
Well,
from the
sometimes.
Percy Jackson TV show.
Percy Jackson.
I love Percy Jackson.
No, but my wife better not listen to this episode.
We will be
Tell
linking
her.
her.
No,
Be like,
but,
Cream,
you
this
know,
episode is dedicated to you, my
I
dear.
even tell-
Specifically this timestamp.
I tell her that too. Or,
We are about 24 minutes in. This is specifically for her.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
So shout out, I don't know your name, but shout out to you.
Karen, but then with 2 E's.
Alright.
Go ahead.
So yeah, Road to the Netherworld. On Valley Creek Road in Downingtown is Chester County's entrance to the Netherworld. Old tales of the area talk of a pair of red cast iron gates in the vicinity of Sawmill Road, leading to a long abandoned mansion. This place was the scene of a grisly murder, the story goes, in which a father killed his entire family, once again. The house lay empty afterwards, left
Told you have
exactly.
dinner ready, then they wouldn't be mad.
Left exactly. That's why the lady makes the bread.
You know, feminist.
No, she makes it and hints at a smell, and then we don't deliver on it. That's what creates these killers.
So it's not the dad's fault, it's feminist's fault.
I knew there was problems. No.
Left exactly as it had been after the murder, right down to the bullet holes in the walls and doors. All the bodies had been buried on the grounds. Rumors have circulated constantly for the past 50 years of about the activities of cults, Satanists, and mafias in the mansion and on its grounds. Other stories are more supernatural and talk of a portal for angels to descend to the underworld. Thankfully, there has been no talk of a revolving door allowing otherworldly residents to visit the earth.
So this is a one-sided transaction. You only get in, but you don't get out.
Yeah.
Well, kind of.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Some of the people who boost themselves over a chain-linked fence into a yard where they assumed the original iron gate once stood have come back with the tales of lanterns glowing in the abandoned building, illuminating furniture covered with dust covers. Others claim they were chased off by large and very real-looking dogs, not mythical hellhounds, just plain Dobermans. So, are there iron gates guarding some dark place in Chester County? And are we better off not finding it? Or is this one of those legends that spring from the wildness of the area? At this point, the truth is hidden in the tangled, contradictory stories, but Downingtown thrill seekers still tramp the woods in their quest for the supernatural portal. If any of them have found it, they have not yet returned to tell us about it.
It's because the dogs ate them.
Okay, but this could
Probably.
reference to the first episode too. The Gate to Hell.
No, yeah, it could. No.
I mean,
Could be.
Yep, you're very well right in there. There could be your reasonable explanation to that.
Okay,
And I'm not
let's-
making fun. I'm making fun of your statement.
Oh no,
that's
I
all
was
that
gonna
is.
make fun.
I know you were gonna.
I was
make
gonna
fun.
say,
No,
although
I'm-
that's not the
how
fun
you
version.
just constantly go back to this reasonable explanation. I'm like, no, you're full valid in that. Yeah. It's no different than what I said about like the pale guy. I'm like, that just sounds like an average day outside Philly. I mean,
This next one is the Storm Hag, although there was not much information available, like what the Storm Hag looks like and stuff like that, but I used what I could find. This is in Lake Erie. The Pennsylvania is landlocked. We do have access to Lake Erie, a member of the Great Lakes, which are notorious for their violent, unpredictable storms. Presque Isle is an area of the lake notable for the large number of shipwrecks and disappearances that have occurred there. This is where the Storm Hag is said to live, on the bottom of the lake, emerging only to feast upon unfortunate sailors. She was first spotted in Northern Ireland in 1839 when there was a large storm that she arose from. She has venomous nails, strong, wraith-like arms, green pointed teeth, slimy green skin, and cat-like eyes that are the last thing her victims ever see. I guess I lied. I didn't know what it looked like. What are you glaring at?
well, other than the green skin, you have a very close similarity to this young
Oh,
lady.
yeah, you kind of do.
Venomous nails.
I'm gonna say, yeah, your nails. Well, I don't know. They're kind of rounded today. But I've seen them.
I don't know if his arms look very strong, though.
first spotted in Northern Ireland in 1839. Okay, then all of a sudden she shows up at Lake Erie. Okay.
Could be
Well,
like...
you have immigrants that come
It could
over.
be the
That's where a lot of,
original-
like, lore comes from.
Or it could be the original Storm Hag's daughter, and it just moved. You know, went to college at
Maybe
Lake
it's the
Erie.
sister of Ray Stone Ray.
Maybe.
The wife of
Well,
Loch Ness.
no, and I won't go off on a long tangent, but when you look at the continents when they were connected, I did not know. Did you know the Appalachian Mountain Range is the same mountain range that actually runs through Scotland and Ireland?
They fit as a puzzle.
Oh, yeah, that's actually, because...
That's why our lore through like the Appalachian Mountain area is connected with the same theirs, because it's the same regions that
Because, yeah, it used to be all one big continent.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it all broke away. So, like you say, cousin's daughter, whatever, it very well could be.
Okay, but in 1839, first spotted. So
First spotted, but that doesn't mean that it didn't exist before then.
We'll say the
True,
first.
but-
We should say the first reported.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, being on not sighted for millions and millions of years, and finally in 1839.
Maybe she was on vacation.
Maybe.
Okay.
Like a siren, she sings an enticing song immediately before attacking. Come into the water, love, dance beneath the waves, where dwell the bones of sailor lads inside my saffron cave.
So,
Now, if that's not a love poem, I don't know what is.
And I just wrote poetry, so I can confirm.
so
What?
the Flying Dutchman,
Yeah.
What about?
What?
isn't it the same then?
Oh, well, that's ironic. We're reading about these mythical stories, and one of my friends just posted on their Snapchat story about God.
Okay.
What are you saying about the Flying Dutchman?
Isn't he a creature? Isn't he a creature from the sea?
No, the Flying Dutchman.
No,
is
it's a
like
flying
a,
ship.
It's a ship, isn't it? It's a ghost
Okay,
ship,
but
isn't it?
yeah, okay, but
Yeah,
it goes down in the sea, and then SpongeBob. SpongeBob.
Yeah.
No. But it's based on that. Come on.
Okay,
Think about
the
it.
character, the Flying Dutchman, is yes a
So it's from a ship. It went down. So
fairy.
and the
That
flying-
was the word I was looking for.
the
It
flying-
ferries people. The Flying Dutchman is supposed to like ferry souls.
No, they take souls. He takes souls and
He,
takes them down.
he ferries them to the afterlife. That's what the Flying Dutchman's supposed to do. There's different renditions of like how it travels, but the base of it is the Flying Dutchman. I forget how it's
Yeah, but
like.
isn't
what-
it
Then the
Same
people
as
who
here?
die at sea.
yeah, something like
Isn't
that.
it the same as here? But I mentioned SpongeBob, and you knew what I was talking about. So
Because
don't
I
even
knew
laugh
where you
about
were
it.
going with it.
There's a SpongeBob picture right behind you.
Yeah, ironically.
Oh, there you go.
Although Squidward looks
Must
like
be a sign from the afterlife. Holy crap!
It must be. It's
No,
speaking
I
to you.
doubt it.
Oh, where's our next one, hon?
Okay, the next one is the house on Ridge Avenue, which is in Pittsburgh. The house on Ridge Avenue, or I don't know if I can pronounce this, the congealer?
Congealer.
Congealer?
Mhm.
I'm going to say congealer.
Okay.
Congealer House was for a long time considered to be the most haunted house in America. Fun fact, Thomas Edison once visited when he was experimenting with seances. What happened to inspire such a ghost tale, you ask? The original owner, Charles Congealer, was discovered having an affair with the maid by his wife, who murdered the duplicitous couple. A few days later, a neighbor discovered Mrs. Congealer muttering at the maid's decapitated head, which she had cradled in her lap while she sat in her rocking chair.
She wanted to get her point across. Mm-hmm. You are never touching him again.
Just wait for the next one. It also has to deal with women's heads. As if... wait, no.
You gotta watch
No,
what
no,
you say.
no,
Because
no,
Nick and
no,
I
no.
are exactly like, yeah.
They're
Now
like
hold
the
on.
head on their shoulders. Their actual
That's what I
head.
was thinking too.
They're actual.
swear.
No, it wasn't. I know it wasn't.
You don't know.
Here, it has to deal
Confirm or
with
deny.
decapitated. It has to deal with decapitated women. Okay.
Either way, there's a head involved.
As if that incident wasn't enough, the next owner of the house was a reclusive doctor who, it was discovered, had a collection of women's heads in the basement that he was using for experimentation. Don't even. Don't even! After the crazy doctor, the house was converted into housing for immigrant workers who moved once they began mysteriously dying one by one. Eventually, the house exploded, leaving only a crater in its path. Locals insist that it had been transported back to hell where it came from. I don't want to hear it.
Fucking exploded.
It just blew up.
That's exactly.
Yep. Blowing was involved.
He was reattaching them. Collecting them, reattaching them, moving on.
Alright. Next.
Are we still in Pittsburgh? Or that one was
No.
in Pittsburgh?
Going.
Yeah, that was in Pittsburgh.
I'm writing that down for a
No.
bucket list.
No.
I said we were going to do some investigative work.
You're logging in, I just sever heads. I know what you're doing.
Why are they all in shock here? Oh.
Well, I'm on to you.
Are you done?
No, but we should move on because we could keep going on that.
Droopy eyes.
Be however you want them, Robin.
No, not the women.
I mean, whatever. Hey, it's your preference.
Sons.
Who put lipstick on that pig?
You laughed at that one, so don't even act like that was.
I'm glad you didn't say shit. So.
Oh yeah, we didn't even. Yeah, go to the next one, or we're gonna be here for a while.
The next one is Crybaby Bridge, or the Van Sant Bridge in New Hope.
Now, before you start reading it, is this the same one that Sam and Colby went to? Because I remember them going to a Crybaby Bridge.
There are multiple different Crybaby Bridges.
Oh, okay. So that's what I was just asking. Because I don't remember them saying that they were in Pennsylvania when they went to
No,
it.
there's multiple different ones, or all the similar stories, but they normally have like at least something different to it.
Okay, okay.
Van Sant is an old covered bridge in New Hope, Pennsylvania. The bridge has given shelter to many passing horsemen and pedestrians during the cold and wet winters. The odd sounds that echo around the woodwork have created many stories, all of them being similar in some way. I really should have proofread this better. We have all heard the legends of the dead weeping and wandering, such as the story of La Llorona. This legend is Pennsylvania's version. One story tells of a woman who got pregnant, but her family wanted nothing to do with her or her child. She was so upset by this that after giving birth, she left in the middle of the night with her baby to a nearby bridge, where she threw the baby into the water and hung herself from the bridge's rafters. The legend says that if you park your car in the middle of the bridge, you can hear not only the cries of the woman and her baby, but also the toes of the hanging woman scraping the roof of the car.
You need to go give her a pedicure.
Well, I mean, she's been dead for a while, so
I thought those fucking talents.
I'll call the academy. They'll come do it.
There you go. Give him some
But I
practice.
think I've been into that one. To the
Have you
covered
really?
Bridge. I do believe. I
Oh,
will see if
shoot.
I see if I have some pictures. My wife and I always go to covered bridges.
Yeah, I do see her like post a lot of
Yeah,
pictures of
so-
that kind of stuff.
But I think it sounds familiar, so I might have to look that up.
Oh, cool.
I think there are 2 other stories. Yeah,
And
2
the car's
stories.
still in good shape, so
That
No
you know of.
scratches.
Do you look at the top of the car?
yeah.
How often?
What do you mean how often?
How often do you look at the top of your car?
When I get out of the car, I go walk back to
His
the
car does sit fairly low. It's not like mine that
Oh.
sits up. No, it is kind of low.
I'm old.
Clearly.
That doesn't happen.
I can't get up that high anymore.
That's what she said.
Man, we gotta watch when we take those breaks.
That's why I'm
We're
old
gonna
and
get
dumb.
demonetized on YouTube.
Oh well, this is for fun. Who cares?
Anyways, another story says that a woman with a baby was attacked and murdered there many years ago, and the killer drowned the baby afterwards. When he was caught, they hanged him from the inside of the bridge. Now they say that the woman walks back and forth on the bridge, bemoaning the loss of her child.
Now this is the same spot.
Same spot, yes.
Yep.
There's
Maybe
just
that's the one
3
that
different
you-
versions of the story.
Oh, okay, okay.
This is the last one. The final story states that a woman became pregnant with twins. She had no husband and no support for herself or her children. At the time, this was a serious social problem that drove her to despair. Soon after giving birth, she carried both of her children out to the bridge and jumped with them off the side. They all died. People who have been out on the bridge told stories that when they walked out near the center of the bridge, they heard the cries of what sounded like 2 screaming infant children from below, at or near the water.
We'll see. So then maybe it is the one you've been to, but you necessarily would not have.
Did you stand in the middle of the bridge?
Oh, was that the? Did
me
you
see.
actually go there?
Oh no, this is I'm on Google Maps.
Oh, you're on Google and actually like looking up the bridge. I mean, it is a pretty bridge.
I mean, it looks.
There's a picture of it in the book.
But you know, those covered bridges all looks the same.
Well,
Somewhat-
yeah,
somewhat.
the same.
I'll go on my wife's Facebook
Excuse
and
me.
see what's posted there.
I was gonna say when you go up, when you're heading to Altoona, I think when you're going up, I forget what that road's called, that takes you up to 99. I want to say that there's a road that shoots off that you can see that there's a small covered one there.
If you go in Bedford,
Oh, I do have the Devil's Road.
Oh, okay.
I think it's the
in
last
Bedford,
one.
that's 1 hour tour,
Yes.
and you cover I don't know 8, 10 covered bridges.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just one big circle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have 3 more, I believe.
Okay. They're
Hex
big
Hollow
stories,
is
then.
they're because it's Hex Hollow, Chickies Rock, and then
Oh, you saved the bigger stories for...
Yes.
Okay.
Hex Hollow. I like this one. This one's pretty good. Although the pronunciation, my God, kill me.
Well, it depends if the house isn't finished yet. We said you're not cooking, so I can't have expectations.
No, I'm not. I can't cook. I can make your brownies.
Yes, I'll take the brownies.
Alright, should I just start, or are we waiting for him to pull something up?
No, I think he's just channel surfing now. He's bored.
No, go. I'm
Okay.
just looking for that bridge.
Okay.
Just making sure.
This next one is Hex Hollow in York County. This one is entirely read from the Weird Pennsylvania book. All of this is from that book. If you walk the roads in Hex Hollow in the right sequence on Halloween night, you will pass through the gates of hell. Ironically,
Back.
you'll know the place because the trees will grow thick above your head and the woods are dark even at the brightest time of day. It is said that there are places where the sun has never touched the ground. Hex Hollow, that's spelled wrong. I just keep pointing things. Hex Hollow is a maze of trails and dirt roads twisting in and out of each other's paths, cut randomly through the vegetation. There's a little grave in Hex Hollow marked with a pentagram where Nelson Raymer, a black magician, is buried. Men were murdered in his house, and some nights the moon casts light upon Raymer's specter wandering his land. But most people do not like to speak of Hex Hollow, legend or truth. When asked about it, they give short answers or none at all. Most of the area is a county park now, but it's not well used, partly because it's off the beaten path, but mostly because it is Hex Hollow. It is not easy to find, but you know when you're there. The world becomes a little darker. How much darker it must have been in 1928 when the Hollow's one resident was Nelson D. Raymer, a loner, well over 6 feet tall, with deep-set eyes and a powerful presence. Nelson was married, but his wife lived outside the Hollow because he was, in her words, too damn peculiar.
I'm not saying nothing.
You were laughing,
Nope,
so
nope.
nope, no
Continue.
comment.
Nope, nope.
Okay.
Were you laughing at me when I lifted my hand? When
Oh,
she
I didn't even
read,
see you lift
oh,
your hand. No.
What he?
When you read, what was it? About what he looked like? 6 feet tall.
Okay, yes.
A loner well over 6 feet with deep-set eyes and a powerful presence.
I waved my hand. But then again, it already says it's going to be dark no matter what time of day. But yeah, the bush, the leaves are getting thicker and thicker the closer you get. Of course, it's darker because the sunlight doesn't get through.
Well, explain how it gets dark during the wintertime because there's no leaves on the trees.
Well, depends on what trees it is. What tree it is. Not all trees. Leaves
no,
fall.
true. No, true. Good point.
From the tree.
Good point. I'll give you that.
Nelson was what was commonly known as a powwow doctor. They are also called hexers. A strong tradition of faith healing and folk magic continues even to this day among the Pennsylvania Germans. When seen in person, there is not much peculiar about the place itself, but there is certainly something about the old farm that people pick up on. Perhaps it is the uninviting angle at which the house sits, or the neglected outbuildings that surround it. There's no witch's grave, no pentagrams, only a few hex signs, which are common in the area. The only outwardly witchy feature of the house is the red 13 painted on one of the barns. Yet, Hex Hollow has a feeling of that to a graveyard, peaceful and quiet, but with an undercurrent of foreboding. In Nelson's time, there were hundreds of informal practitioners throughout this area. One was named John Blemire, a sickly and sad man from a family of hexers who traced their spiritual lineage back to Pennsylvania's most famous witch, Mountain Mary. But John Blemire could keep none of his powwow patients. He was reduced to working in a York cigar factory. He could figure out no explanation for his hardship. Say, perhaps the answer is obvious to someone of his background. He must have been hexed. Blemire visited every powwow doctor, witch, and faith healer in the area, trying to get his hex broken. He had no luck. Until he found Nellie Knoll, aka the River Witch, and after many visits and payments to Knoll, she revealed that the source of Blemire's curse was Nelson. Knoll told Blemire that the only way he could break the curse was to get a lock of Nelson's hair, or his hex book, or both, and bury them 6 feet down. Finally, Blemire had a reason for his plight. He quickly enlisted 2 teenage boys, John Curry and Wilbert Hess, to help rectify it. Both boys came from families who had fallen on hard times, and it didn't take much for Blemire to convince them that they too were cursed, and Nelson was the source. On a dark, rainy November night in 1928, the 3 went to confront Nelson. The old man invited them in, and the men stayed up late talking of many things. Nelson asked them to stay the night, then went upstairs to sleep while his 3 guests slept downstairs. In the early morning, Blemire tried to convince Curry and Hess to go to the basement to find Nelson's hex book, but no way were the boys going into a dark basement for a book of devil's curses. After Nelson fed them breakfast, the trio left. They returned the following night, and this time, Blemire was determined to get the hex book. It took all 3 of them, Blemire, Curry, and Hess, to wrestle the powerful Nelson to the ground. When he failed to give up the book, they tied a rope around his neck and beat him to death. Upon hearing his death rattle, Blemire, I don't know why that says Bloomer, Blemire exclaimed, "Thank God, the witch is dead." Even with Nelson dead, the trio could not muster the courage to descend into the basement to look for his book. Instead, they decided to burn the body and the house. They poured the lamp oil over the corpse and the floor, set them ablaze, and left. Nelson's nearest neighbor found his body 2 days later on Thanksgiving. Hex Hollow still feels lonesome and cold. Places seem to take on elements of their reputation when most people don't know the real story of the place, but they know to stay away from it, especially at night. All they know is it is associated with witchcraft and murder. Now, the one thing about the story, though, is they were doing all this to break a hex where they had to either take his hair or his book and bury it 6 feet underground. But since they burned the body and the house, they never actually broke the hex because they never buried it.
It's true, yeah.
So they did all that for nothing.
Would you go in the basement to get the book?
Yes. I was thinking about that when she read that. I'm like, there could be one more enticing thing to get me down there, but it wouldn't be much. I'm like, yeah, it wouldn't even have to be that. No.
Now,
No, you're good. You're good.
this next one, the first story, the pronunciation is so hard, but I will try my best. This one is Chicky Rock in Lancaster County. Chicky's Rock isn't necessarily bad, but there are many stories of strange things happening there. Susquehannock natives used to live there, and that is where the stories of paranormal first began. It's that age-old story of tragedy, ghosts, and love that serves as the basis for one of these older tales. Although you might not like the first one because you don't believe in love, so...
No, I don't know what love is.
You gotta watch what you say because she's gonna remember and bring it back.
There's a difference.
Because it's basically like the story of Romeo and Juliet.
Okay.
A young Susquehannock warrior named Wanuga, we'll go with
Wanunga, actually.
Wanunga?
Yeah, that's how I've
Wanunga.
always heard it.
Okay, Wanunga returns from battle with his love, Wanhuta. Sure.
Yep.
On his mind. Unfortunately for him, she had fallen deeply in love with a white farmer while he was away. Considering ghosts are the result of the story, you can probably guess that doesn't end well. You would be right. Wanunga attacked his love in a jealous rage after she confessed how her heart belonged to another during a walk up Chicky's Rock. Her terrified screams prompted her nearby lover to rush to her aid, only for him to be stabbed, have his throat slit, and flung off the cliff by the jilted warrior. Wanunga, too, met his end at the bottom of Chicky's Rock after leaping off the cliff, but not before he grabbed one Huta and took her with him in an act known as Lover's Leap. It is said that one Huta's screams can be heard ringing throughout the air around the overlook to this day. A man in colonial garb has also been seen standing either at the edge of the rock or near the water's edge below. As for Wanunga, or so the story goes, he now makes his ghostly rounds in the area as a translucent figure forever clutching a tomahawk. Another story tells of a maiden who decided the cliff was a better option than being captured by the man pursuing her. There are many tales similar to this one that is a tragic tale like, as I said, Romeo and Juliet. That was a lot. That was a mouthful to read.
Yes.
My goodness. I believe we got all of this from a YouTube video, right? Everything that's next? Because we looked up, like, the transcription of it and just had her read it.
I think, yeah, for everything that she had on, yeah.
Yep. The first part, though, was from the book. There's also a story of a curse upon the land. Sometime at the end of the 19th century, 3 sisters lived in a small house on the top of Chicky's Hill. Many believed the sisters were practitioners of the black arts. When plans were made to build train tracks along the ridge, the only thing still stopping them were the sisters. After purchasing all the parcels of land needed, the C&D attempted to buy off the sisters, but they refused every time. The trolley company convinced the local officials to give them the land through intimate domain. With no other choice, the sisters made a suicide pact. Before following through, they turned to the black arts for revenge and cast a spell from the 6th and 7th books of Moses to curse the land and bring death. After the suicide, construction began. There were several mishaps. One of these tragedies happened on April 9th, 1896. That day, there was a concert held on the summit. Towards the end, a severe storm came through the area, which delayed the trolleys. When cart number 61, I think cart is supposed to be cart. When cart number 61 finally arrived, it was overloaded with passengers eager to leave. The trolley's capacity was 28, but was loaded up to 80 people after issues stopping at the first stop. The trolley began to climb a steep slope, increasing its speed. By then, the track was swarmed with potato bugs, which made the already wet track slipperier, and the overworked brakes failed to stop and increase speed, caused the trolley pole to leave the overhead wire, which cut electricity, taking the curve at 60 miles per hour. The trolley wheels left the rail, sending the trolley dropping over a 30-foot embankment, landing on its roof. The accident killed 6 people and injured 68. Sorry. Many more deaths have taken place here since the trolley accident. Reports say that at least 12 people have died from falls or suicide between 1981 and 1990, before a fence was put up to protect hikers. There have been 4 more deaths since the fence was erected, with the most recent being in 2006. There are also many other spirits reported at Chicky's Rock, including a mummified ghost with no arms and arrows sticking out of his body, a man who died in a riverboat accident, and a tall, shadowy, silhouetted man wearing a fedora-style hat and flowing cape. There have also been apparitions of men seen at the foot of the cliff, believed to be former railroad and canal workers. Then you have the apple-loving Alba witches. These creatures are described as being 4 to 5 foot tall, ape-like creatures covered in reddish-brown hair. Reports... Just hold on a sec. Reports of the album which is dated back to the natives that lived in the area. These humanoids are said to sit in the trees and eat apples, sometimes throwing the cores at people.
Oh, they don't just throw cores. They throw more than cores.
This is the last one. I didn't write a exit thing to close out or a conclusion.
Okay.
So we're just gonna end on this.
You look intrigued. What? What?
Yeah, they're short.
Apparently, everybody's just short.
When you get to a certain
extremely
part of
tall.
the state, we
They
grow
probably have
high,
red eyes,
and then
too.
we grow low too. So depending on where you are in the state, yeah. Even our cryptids and lures, yeah.
I don't really remember what
shrink
this one's
down.
entirely about. Oh Lord, there's a lot here.
It must be in the right place. On average. Yeah, on
Oh, yeah,
average,
you.
the Dutch
Oh,
people
this
are
was-
the tallest in the world.
This was all also from the Weird Pennsylvania book, I believe.
This one I know. Yeah, the Devil's Road. Yeah, I remember you telling me about this one. This one I know.
This
I've
one I
seen
don't remember, so well.
This one, if you type it up on any web searcher, most pictures, images, even not even for just Pennsylvania, but just if you would type up a Devil's Road, you're going to get. I mean, I think it's in your description. You're going to get these trees that
Yeah, I
they're-
have trees in it.
they're
Yeah.
terrified of the road.
Mhm.
They actually are repelled by it. Not just grow. Like you have some. There's some stories where nothing grows. That's just a barren spot, and they can't. They do scientific experiments and can't explain it. But a tree grows up. It usually follows the sunlight from both sides of the road. No trimming. It goes away from it
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
wanna
literally
go
the last two sentences of the first paragraph.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it doesn't want to be.
So, anyways, it's the Devil's Road in southeastern PA. Devil's Road winds its way a couple of miles through the woods in Chad's Ford, just north of the Delaware border. Map readers will recognize it as a Corsort Road, and it has been known for its general aura of evil for decades. The exact location of the weird part of the stretch is often misreported as being somewhere in northern Delaware, but all stories agree on one point. The trees that line this narrow, binding lane rear back from the road as if recoiling from something unspeakable. Farther into the woods, they say, up in a densely wooded hillside, stands a massive stone mansion known as the Cult House, which Delaware residents claim was once owned by a member of the Dew Point family. The Cult House naturally housed a cult of some kind, from the name, but the nature of its ceremonies remains a bit vague. Fans of a plutocratic conspiracy theory spin wild stories of the Dew Point family members marrying their cousins in the house so the family's wealth would stay within the fold, and then using the place to hide whatever inbred spawned these. Unnatural unions. Oh, wait. Why? I really should have proofread this one. Using the place to hide whatever inbred spawned these unnatural unions produced. The less fanciful rumors fall back on the old favorites, Satanists and the KKK. The house's windows are said to be the shape of a cross, or among the Satanist believers, in the shape of inverted crosses. But it's getting harder and harder to explore the Devil's Road. For one thing, the street signs have been removed from Kennett Pike, so it's easy to miss the Car Sort Road. The Car Sort Road turn. Even if you find the road, you'll see that it's liberally posted with no stopping and no trespassing signs. Too many nosy explorers have imbibed there by night, disturbing the residents, spray painting everything in sight, and committing various acts of vandalism. The police and private security guards regularly patrol the lane, which probably accounts for the many tales of visitors being chased down the road. So we'd advise people to proceed with caution when they think about treading down the darkness of Devil's Road. Don't pull over on this dark, winding strip unless you want to get ticketed for parking in a no-stopping zone. And certainly don't start tramping around through the private property. If your fear of being arrested is greater than your curiosity about mysterious places, you can always get a good look at the woods in the film The Village. The entryway to Satin Road, as it's... Wait, would that be Satin or Satan? Satin. As it is affectionately called, is so overgrown with trees and vines that it resembles a tunnel. Once you start down the road, there is no turning back. It is so windy, and despite being an A2 lane road, is uncomfortably narrow for even a single car. About halfway down the road, you go around one of the bends, and you see it plain as day and indisputable, the Cole House. As the trees near it grow up a few feet, and they all turn at an angle so sharp that they are almost parallel to the ground, always away from the house. It's not just 2 or 3 trees, it's every tree for several hundred feet. The Satan worshippers wait for your arrival at the entrance to the road in black SUVs. As soon as you start to slow down and turn, they turn on their headlights, pop out from hiding, and chase you out to a bridge on Route 100. There are so many trees in Pennsylvania that the entire state was named after them. Sylvania means forest land. So it's hardly surprising that the state has a fair share of creepy tree stories. Probably the most famous in the state is Skull Tree on Devil's Road. It's misshapen growth. On an embankment along one of the roads, more treacherous curves, erosion, and has exposed the roots, which look like an enormous human skull or the skeletal fingers of a hand clawing at the earth. Its grotesque trunk has earned the tree many names, including Skull Tree, Devil's Tree, and Baby's Cradle. And it has attracted many tales as well, including one about an infant sacrifice left among the roots in a gruesome nod to this tale. You can sometimes find decapitated baby dolls cradled within the tree's bony fingers. One of the legend claims that a mother once put her baby in the hole in the tree and left it there to die. If you stop your car, kill the engine, turn the lights off, they say you can hear the baby still crying. And that is all.
Well, now I want to know.
Yes. You're looking at me.
No, I'm not going to take like a paranormal aspect on this, but on the last one, how do we know that they're chasing them away? Maybe they just want to know how many in your party so they know how many drinks to hand out. I mean...
So, 2 things.
Yes, no, go ahead.
If I'm allowed.
Yes.
Go for it. We're done, so
This
just
is
say
not,
whatever you need.
It's not about any of these stories.
Okay.
But where I live, there's a family cemetery a mile up the road.
Mm-hmm.
It is said, because of your first story, that the Ku Klux Klan was having meetings there too.
Yes. Okay.
So, but I don't hear anything. Second thing is, maybe you guys like this better. My wife's great-grandparents, they built that house, used to live in that house.
Mm-hmm.
She died. He buried her up the hill.
Right.
I think that's what their story.
Yeah, you have, yeah.
At night, he was getting nightmares that his late wife was drowning. So, and he had that for several nights. So after a couple of nights, he dug her up, and indeed, her coffin was in water. So, then he decided to move her up the hill a mile or so. So, I thought that was well with that story.
Yeah.
So you have good information.
Mm-hmm.
You just lack conviction behind it.
Well, it's not just like I believe in it.
No, that's...
Although-
I've heard that a lot of times before, too. There's stories, too, of where they have dreams that they hear somebody knocking, like their family member, whatever, is constantly knocking at their door. Then they went and dug them up. They were still alive. They were buried alive. And the knocking was like that.
Well, that's why in the old days they had metal on the...
Oh, the bells.
Not bells, but also sometimes metals on the top of the casket. And
Right.
after a couple of days they get buried back up. And then if there were scratches, then hey, you were alive.
Yeah, verifying if they were dead or alive.
Yeah.
What's your explanation of the trees? I'm interested on that. Of them not growing, because it even said it wasn't just like 1 or 2 trees like growing away from it. So
It was like feet and feet of trees.
Is there electricity wires next to me?
That's not true because trees.
Is there?
will-
I'm asking.
No.
Well, I don't know if there's or not.
It's an
but
abandoned
trees
house,
will
so
grow
probably not.
away from power lines. They will actually grow towards it and wrap around them.
Okay, but where's the power line?
I don't think there are any because it's a very old house from like old times, so they probably didn't have any.
Okay.
What's your point of the power lines, though? Because they'll still grow around it.
Yeah, but it depends on where the power lines are.
Okay, let's say there are no power lines. Explain it then.
I can't.
Okay.
I don't know.
I
I'm
didn't
not
know
a
if you had
geologist.
any. I was
or
when I
ecology,
when I
so-
knew that part of the story, I was interested on just your take. I'm not trying to like
No,
pick on you or
but-
anything. I'm just interested on your take on that.
I don't know.
Okay.
How the wind blows? I don't know.
Has to be some very
Whoa.
strong wind.
Down
Well,
down the road, you have one straight road.
I've never been to that road,
And-
so I can't.
The picture you can look online to see the pictures. The trees literally like almost like Moses parting the sea. That's how
Yeah.
the trees grow. The wind's literally only going to come one way or the other. No, the trees.
Yeah, and as it says in what I wrote, they grow literally so far to the side that they are parallel to the ground.
It's not like a gentle. It
No, no, no,
is-
no.
Like in
They
some
are.
of like the hiking trails, they're like either kind of a bit this way or a bit this way. No, it's like fully parallel to the ground.
I have to see that.
Oh, road trip.
Hang
Yeah, I
on,
know, but I mean-
let me Google it.
I'm open for everything.
Midget farms.
You can blow it.
We have some locations to hit.
Blow me.
No, I
wanna
like
see
those.
these midget farms.
Farms. Yeah.
Nick wants to see the little people. So that's it you had for this? Or were you looking it up?
I am looking up.
So am I, Devil's Tree.
Not the devil's tree. That'll give you something different.
I was gonna say you'll have.
But
the
it's
skull tree.
trees like this right here.
Devil's tree.
Trees like this, but for like miles.
Yeah. Oh. Oh no, that's so different. Yeah.
And then yeah, this is skull tree. See how the roots look like a skull?
No, I don't.
So here's an eye, here's the nose.
No.
Do
He
you see
has
the
no
skull?
imagination.
Do you see
I
the
have
skull?
I do.
imagination.
No, you have no
I
imagination.
make websites, so I need to have imagination.
Not really. There are different types of imagination. Making websites, that's more creativity. Imagination
Well,
is...
you need imagination for that too.
No,
Yeah.
you need creativity for imagination. You don't need imagination for creativity.
They are combined together. You need each other.
No, because apparently you don't have imagination.
Okay. Oh, this is no. This is it.
What?
There must be an easy explanation for that.
For what, the trees?
Oh yes, there must be.
Yeah. What's the ground made of? The soil made of?
Dirt.
No, but not every dirt is the same. Right?
I don't know, my dad's the gardener, not me. Ask
The dirt
him.
here can be is probably different than the dirt across the road.
Yeah, but I don't understand how like the dirt would.
Well, it depends on what is in the dirt.
Yeah, they put cocaine in the dirt. That's how it's growing sideways.
That would do it for me.
Well, then it would go all the way. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
No, we've settled
No.
on the trees go sideways because
I'm
they're...
trying to figure out what kind of dirt there is.
Yeah, he
Oh,
thinks
okay.
it's because of the dirt. I said there's cocaine in the dirt. That's why they're growing sideways.
No, but you can have multiple. I mean, the dirt here is probably different than the dirt across the road.
Well, yeah, you have different acidity and
Yeah,
whatnot
no,
in there.
exactly.
No,
So-
I will have to
About
agree
that
with Robert on that. I mean, what is in... Because I would be interested to know what is in the dirt if it would be something
If it's the
causing that.
dirt, though, wouldn't all of the trees be growing sideways? Because it's just the ones right next to the road.
Unless... I will side with you for the argument. I'll be fair.
No, I mean,
Unless there was something put in the mixture for the road and it's only leaching towards the edge. I will concede to that. But what is it that's either in the road or what's by that? Because didn't you say they were doing the same thing by the house?
What?
That
The
tree-
bending?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then what's by the house too?
Because the road
So
goes
the
to
road
the
leads
house.
To the house.
So all the trees are by the road.
Right, but then you would think, at least in my opinion, once the road leads to the house, your road doesn't come right to your front door. So why are the trees?
He
still
doesn't
there?
I know, I
see
never
how
saw
this
that.
looks like a skull. You see the skull, right? He sees the skull.
The eyes and the nose.
I knows.
No, I don't.
He don't. I'm telling you, he has no imagination.
I could see the hand.
Nose.
I could see that
Or
hand.
mouth. No. Eye. Nose.
See, I could see the hands.
You know what? How about do this? Save the photos.
I mean, maybe you could see a hand, but no, that's the skull tree. There's other ones that are. Isn't there one in Georgia? I thought there's a skull tree down south too, because that one actually it sits up higher too. It's like in the trunk.
I'm not sure.
I could have swore there was one down south that it does. It's not so much in the roots, but it sits up higher. Because I think the branches actually grew. Like it almost split, but then the trunks came back. Oh, did you find it?
No.
Oh,
I
you
traced it.
you highlighted it for him.
The skull. Do you know what the skull
Yeah,
looks like?
yeah, I know what a skull looks like.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what
Do
a
you
skull
know?
looks like?
She's gonna make sure that you understand.
I see the hand too, but I mainly see the skull. The skull is the main thing you can see.
No, I mean,
Do you see the skull in this?
I think we need to bring up pictures of the midget farm.
Let me.
That is the one thing that Nick has been sitting here so patiently. You got him so happy. I've just watched him. He's like, still no midgets. Got roughly excited. I'm like, oh, they're only 5 foot's a little tall.
There's a real life
4.
midget farm if you want it.
Where are my little people? I wish to enjoy them.
Hang on. Midget farm, Pittsburgh. This is what it actually looks like.
Oh, shoot.
Or, well, this is one in Pittsburgh. This isn't the actual story, but...
The little people.
you would run away.
Here's a midget bartender.
Little eyes coming up.
I don't know where this came from, but...
So you watched that TV show about the
Little people, big
Yeah.
life.
Oh, that's the Van Sant Bridge.
No. I don't watch TV.
Yeah.
Really.
That's the bridge.
Yeah, Robin was. That's the one that the bridge is the one that he thinks he's actually gone to.
Yeah.
He was trying to look for pictures.
Is this what he wants? It's a midget. Is that what you want?
Oh my.
He is.
Like, where's that at?
Where am I going next week?
In Pittsburgh, maybe. It's called...
See, you're so against
It's
going.
called Midget Madness in Pittsburgh.
I finally got you sold.
Like, Nick, where are you going?
You
Midget
bit-
madness.
Been so against it for so long. Like,
Oh
Leo,
my lord.
I bet you they make you a cheesesteak over there. If you ask her, we'll get some pierogies. I'll be happy. What do you look at me like that for? What's wrong with a pierogi?
Pierogies are good. Again.
I don't know.
I'm
Nothing.
normal. My mom had me tested.
What fucking
She wants to know why I talk to you.
I don't know.
I think she tested you for the wrong things.
My parents didn't even know that I was there a week before.
They
I
didn't
was born.
know?
No, they didn't know.
Where did this come from?
I wanted
I was taking a shit!
wait.
That is what you said. My parents didn't know.
Yes, I'm one of
So
the
we have to
twins.
tag his wife and his mother in this episode. Be like, so your son said that you guys had no clue where he came
No.
from. He just randomized appeared on the dining room table.
I'm one of a twin. They didn't know.
That there was 2 of you?
Yes. I'm
So
one
they
of a
counted
twin.
one just twice
So-
randomly throughout the
No,
house?
because they didn't have any sonograms or anything, or how you call them.
Oh.
So, but a week before I was born, they discovered, hey, I'm there.
You have a twin?
I would love to talk to
You
your
have a
brother.
twin?
Yeah, no, that's
Is he
just
more
it. I would-
sane?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if like all of like more of like a middle ground was with him, and there was just so much that the overflow just created you.
He was so full of imagination that you just didn't get any.
No, his imagination. What if there was another one of me? Well, we can make another one, but it's not going to be the same. It's going to be a little different.
Just
How come I'm different?
Now you're taking different as a bad sense. I'm just saying different
No,
because
you're
you're different
okay.
than Nick. I'm different than him. We're all
I'm
We're different.
I look different than the people at school, but that's
Not
not a
the
bad
same.
thing.
I know, but why?
Kids scream at me on the hallway.
because that is the truth.
And
These
yours-
cans are the same, but what's in them is different. Actually,
I know.
that's what I'm using as a reference
Okay,
for you.
but no, then don't use the word different and use.
But we're saying that different isn't a bad thing. That's what we're.
I know him long enough, and it's not the first time he calls me different.
I'm honestly just saying you're just a
But
different
you know, I'm
individual.
not different than anybody else. Just because apparently I have no imagination, I just.
What'd you believe all these stories, Robin?
Oh yeah, but we'll go around the table
What do you
again.
take away from these?
We'll start with you this time. What other stories do you believe? Do you not believe any of them? Do you believe some of them?
What do you think on? There we go.
The parts with, you know, if you turn your car off, radio down, open the window or whatever, and just listen, you hear the whining or the crying. It's just the wind through the trees.
That could be, yeah. That could very well be.
I mean, yeah, that is reasonable unless it's like the sense where like there is no wind and no other explanation.
And what I think too, maybe it's just me, but 9 out of 10 people go to oh. You're making fun of me.
I was never.
Sure, no.
There is no way to see Nick lie at all. Robin just starts reading up and just like, yeah, exactly.
Keep going.
what I
I'm
do.
sorry. I'm sorry. Keep
Reading
going.
up
Keep
anything.
going. Keep going.
Am I here to give my opinion or my?
No, you're fine. It's just-
Go all for it. All for
Okay.
it.
But people go to these places and they already know about those places,
Mhm.
right?
True.
Yeah.
Yes.
They already know.
Yeah.
So in the back of their head, they already know. Oh, I'm going to hear voices. I'm going to hear a baby cry. So in the back of their head, they already know. So, and of course, not all of them, but some of them will hear it.
So they're almost like already searching for it.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I can see that perfectly.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
I agree with you.
Why else are you going? Yeah.
so that's what I, you know, and some people who visit there are just, I don't want to say, yeah. But no. Most people, and I bet people who never heard of the story and just go there won't hear anything.
Mm.
They won't hear
Fair
it.
enough,
But
yeah.
people who read the stories, who are interested in it, and I think that's what it is too. If you believe in those stuff, in this, then yes, you will hear it. If I go to there, I probably won't hear a thing.
Mm.
But you can be standing right next to me and you will hear it. Well, I don't.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're open for it.
Right. Right.
I'm not saying I'm not open for it. I just don't believe in it. I don't know if that's the same or not.
True.
But yeah,
Okay.
and I think that's what it is. You already have an idea in your head what to expect. You already know the stories, so you're gonna hear it.
What about you? Do you believe most of the stories, or are you just interested in the midget farm?
The midget farm. I'm telling you, like most of these, I probably have to say no. The tree thing, I'm very intrigued to know why the trees grow like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody has.
Especially why like the skull tree grew
Yeah,
in
like-
that way.
I'd like to know how, or, you know, why they grow like that. Like because it's not normal.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, but you don't know if it's not normal because the sand got blown away from the roots. So all of a sudden it's a skull. What if But there's a tree right there. There's still
and do I believe
ground
there's
around it,
like
so you don't know what it looks like.
satanic midgets running around?
Little shovels.
With the red eyes running around.
They have to live somewhere, right?
I don't know.
They have to live somewhere.
Like,
They have to live somewhere. They live in that tree.
but most of it, no. Like I said, the trees. That is weird, and I'd like some, like why? Like I said, there could be satanic midgets running around.
There very much could be.
And they don't even have to have beady eyes. It'd be like little devils running around.
Okay, Dad, do you believe in most of the stories?
I grew up with the Devil's Road one, so I know that one pretty intimately. Like with any of the investigations I've seen, whether you believe me on it or not, like I do watch them with, I don't want to say skepticism, but I like have a checklist that I want to go down. Did it fit here? Did it fit? Or did it do this? Can this be explained away? Can that be explained away? Blah, 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 blah. Because then there's a couple of them I'm like, yeah, no, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. That wasn't legit. But for the Devil's Road one, yes. Could you... The cars patrolling it, could those be the cars that chase you off? Yes. I grew up with enough stories where, like what you referenced to, nobody knew of it. They said I was driving down this one stretch, it was odd, these trees look like this, and then for some reason we were like looking at the map trying to find where we're going, and then all of a sudden these lights were like right on us that they almost like drove through, and then they were gone. So it's like, yeah, you had almost a blank subject who knew nothing and was like, yeah, I couldn't explain, like, we don't know where the lights went, why the trees were like this, blah, 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 blah. But I would like to know, like you, why are the trees doing that? Because I've seen trees grow around, away from things, so it's like, why are they all... If it would just be a couple, then I'd be like, yeah, that's probably just, like, something basic. But when they're all uniformly doing that, like, that's, like, why? Why is it doing that? The other stories in there of, like, the bus... I mean, I've known that one for a long time, too. Growing up in Reading, people used to talk about that one. Even the lady up at the lake. Those are ones that I would probably have to visit the area a little bit more. I'm at least interested in them. I'm not going to say that I believe wholeheartedly in them, but I'm at least interested to like know a little bit more, because like her first sighting or reported sighting up there, what other stories or reports are from that area about her? Because it is just a lake, so why there? Why is it drawn to up there? I mean, I know there are lores and everything, so I'm like, some of them are true, some of them can be just like made up, whatever, but I'm like, I am intrigued. There's enough of them, especially like the Crybaby Bridge, like she said, there's a lot of them in different areas, so then there has to be some underlying story through all of them that comes out with that truth. Whether they are paranormal, just an unfortunate happenstance, I'd like to know more about it, and I don't know, that's stuff that it does intrigue me.
Yeah, but how many of them are copycats? You know what I mean?
Again, that could be true too, yeah. So I mean, you have to weed through the copycats and the hoaxes to find the true ones. And maybe there is only one true one out of 100 of them. So you got to sit through 99 fake ones to find the one real one. And it does get discouraging after a while to do that, but I mean...
Yeah, but it could be that a true one you don't think it's true, so...
Yeah, it could be, yeah. It could be.
But what do you think?
What, do I believe in them?
Yeah.
When it comes to stuff, I believe in all of them, but just because I only do that because when it comes to like the paranormal and like anything fantasy, like I believe in just about all of it. Like any type of mythical creature or story, name it, and I probably believe in it.
Ray?
Yeah.
No, I can't get behind that.
See,
That's
okay,
amazing.
I could
like-
get behind...
Loch Ness
I could get
Monster,
behind
or-
that for a period of time.
Yeah.
So few of sightings have happened now. I honestly think that it's either figured out a way to get out or perhaps it died.
Yeah.
Raystown was an actual town that flooded. We know that for a fact.
I know. My wife has pictures. I sent you the pictures.
Right. I don't... There's the two stories with Raystown. Raystown Ray that I don't go with. I do like, I don't know if I believe in it because, I mean, there's seaweed and stuff goes in. I do like the idea that you can feel hands grab you if you go out far enough. I've heard that one.
Yeah, Ray's town, Ray, it's like 50-50. It just doesn't seem like a big enough area for some type of monster to be.
And that,
True.
and
But it had to
being
start
like
somewhere.
man-made is just...
Because the loch, they have other waters coming in the Loch
yeah,
Ness, so I get that how it flows. Race, there's no, you got
Nothing.
the streams and rivers that go into that thing. What are you telling me, that it mutated from a tadpole and only?
Well, I have to say, Juniata River goes to the lake.
Right.
And in Saxon, there wasn't a nuclear plant, so they had nuclear
Oh, now we
waste.
got like Godzilla going on here.
Growing up, they
telling
used to
you.
tell me, don't fish in that river. It glows at night. Like, you're going to catch
So-
stuff out of there.
So I should go swim in it.
I'd say
There's
now.
just mutated lizards up there.
You know, you might get pregnant. You might be married. You know,
You
just by
never know.
swimming in it, you might be married.
Maybe that is my problem. I was in that river too much, so now I'm too susceptible to things and beliefs.
Nobody's my excuse.
And I miss
You
kids,
didn't
so.
swim in the river.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up
Yeah.
literally in that river nonstop, so maybe that's my problem.
And I
I'm
miss
too
kids, so I got it
radioactive.
from him.
So, yep, I've just passed on the radioactive genes. It's my fault.
Is that why that's my middle name?
No.
Passed on the genes, so that's my middle name.
No, it's a Russian translation for midget.
Oh my god.
I want to look it up now.
We're gonna find you some small people.
Little people.
To make you happy. Alright.
You're telling me if you were driving and you happened to pass a midget farm, you would not stop.
No, it means well-born. Or good birth.
What does?
Gene.
Oh.
You know you'd stop.
Yep. On that question.
What is midget in Russian?
I kind of want this podcast to be successful. I don't want people to hate me, but
Did you press stop recording?
no, not yet.
Okay.
We're still going.
Then I guess.
Oh no.
You can speak,
As long as when I first see them, they're not
Oh.
looking out over the table. Okay.
There's just like a fence, a little fence.
Like the-
all you see
no.
is
There's a fence. I am not.
You mean like the one Couchfish podcast where they were sitting like this because of the eyes
No,
watching
we
them
not
at the end of
because
the
then I will
bed?
be sleeping for a couple days.
Should
I'll
I,
be like,
I'll make sure
the
to
next
wake you
time
up
we do,
tomorrow
should I be
like
in
that.
another room or?
Why?
Oh no, okay.
Why would you be in another room?
Oh no, okay. Never mind.
What?
Then I misheard or misunderstood.
Probably. Anyway, so
Oh,
you
yeah,
want me to wake you
probably.
up tomorrow by
Yeah.
sitting at the edge of the bed, just peering over the corner?
I will kick my foot across the bed, and you'll be going to school with a black eye. No, I would.
If you wake him up, just go on your knees, so he thinks that's a midget.
That's what she's saying. She'll just
Oh,
be at
sorry.
the foot
Yeah,
of my
be at
bed.
the foot of
Okay,
the
but I
bed.
thought you were talking like this.
No,
No,
like this at
no.
the end of the
Oh,
bed,
yeah.
so he only sees my
There's
eyes.
enough room, and my bed sits
I'll
up
order
high
some
enough
red
that-
eye contacts too.
Thank you so much. You are so helpful.
I do what I can.
I won't let him see it though. He'll be weird about it.
Ah, look at that.
If that were you, I would record.
Look at
it.
that lucky
Freak out.
devil. He got a midget to show up. What do I got to do? I'm like, I was terrified.
Okay.
But they have
Anyways,
dating apps for midgets, so just go on there.
You might be on
I think you
something,
might have to lie and say you're a midget to do that.
probably. It's like only farmers and stuff like that.
If you enjoyed this episode, you can follow us on our website at the unpackingpodcast.com.
Unpacking it podcast.
ChristianMingles.com.
All small people can send their references to Nick via the
Yep,
email.
all midget people. We will send out his contact information if you are interested.
I'm here for you.
Until next time, we'll see you all later. Goodbye.
Bye.